All right, today we're going to cover the big question. Is gold a good investment? If you're new to gold or you're just now considering getting into it, you're probably still dealing with the big question. Is it a smart investment? Is it smart from a wealth perspective, smart from a preparedness perspective, smart as a hedge in case the bottom falls out of the stock market or the economy collapses, whatever. And it's an important question you need to think through before jumping in. I can't tell you I have all the answers, but I can give you a few things to consider to help you decide for yourself. To do that, we need to break this into two categories though. Physical gold, like you're looking at here, or paper gold. And by paper gold, I mean ETFs or traded, dematerialized gold. So if we start with paper, ETFs in particular, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's typically traded in normal markets and it's backed by gold. So because it's backed by gold, it's basically following stock price or domestic price of gold. And there's some very common ways to buy into those ETFs. The two that I'm most familiar with are GLD and IAU. IAU being the cheaper route, GLD probably being the more popular. I've purchased both, I hold on to both, and they're pretty similar. So the idea is that you buy or sell shares of either fund, just like you buy stock in, say, Apple or any other market traded stock. And these particular shares track gold prices. They go up, they go down according to domestic price of gold, but you don't actually physically possess the gold. It's in a vault somewhere. You can't just show up and ask to exchange your shares of gold for a gram of physical gold. It's simply a speculation. So you're speculating on the price of gold. It is purely an investment in gold. So from that perspective, over the last few decades, paper gold has more or less traded sideways, meaning no big gains, no big losses, except for a few spikes. And if you take out the first quarter of 2020, specifically a few months within it, and depending on when you watch this, we'll just say that it's March and April, and a little bit of February, a little bit of May so far, it's really been a poor performer. Most people would include gold in their investment portfolio for other reasons, though. They see it as a means of diversification. Gold is considered a safe haven or an uncorrelated asset. In other words, that's basically just saying that it doesn't move with the stock market. So in that regard, as a portfolio diversification, you could say it has an important role as a crisis hedge, but it's probably not going to make you much money. It might take the sting out of your losses in a crisis. I think that's probably the better way to look at it, probably the way most people look at it, and probably the reason that you have so many different opinions when you ask whether or not it's a good investment. Really, it depends on how you define the word investment. Now, the second type of gold is physical gold. So that's probably why most of you are here watching this video. Price fluctuations in physical gold are similar if you take out future trading, but now you're dealing with premiums and shipping and taxes. You take on retail costs every time you pick up a bar or a coin, so it's a little more expensive. You're dealing with in-person purchases, and I guess this is probably where my opinions start to take over. I mentioned that I own ETFs, and I even actually own some shares in minor stocks. But physical gold is an asset class that goes way beyond its investment value to me. So you'll hear people say that gold is a hedge against inflation or deflation. So even though it hasn't been able to keep up with popular tech stocks or cryptocurrency returns, it does outperform high yield savings accounts. That's kind of where we get back into how we define the word investment. In my experience, it's been way ahead of high yield savings accounts. Your mileage may vary. I always have to say that. But in addition to it being a simple investment hedge or diversification, to me in particular, it has a big savings benefit over cash. And I view gold as an investment, but I also see it as more of a savings account. And to a certain extent, I would even call it a security or insurance in the case the wheels fall off the economy someday. And it's maybe a good place to clear my throat or allow some kind of awkward pause, since we're going through a bit of that right now. But it's a longer term play for me, I guess. And the reason I grabbed these two particular coins is to get a little bit into the security and liquidity of gold a bit, because I feel very strongly that if you're buying gold to take advantage of all the angles that I've mentioned so far, you want gold that's recognized, you want it verifiable, and in the United States, both of these coins are very easy to sell. And in the case of the maple, this is Canadian maple leaf, 1 troy ounce, so 1 ounce maple leaf. The authenticity of this coin can quickly be verified without any doubt. There's a privy mark. It's a small maple leaf in the lower right hand. That can be viewed by the naked eye, and people can see that that'd be a really hard thing to copy. I get the shot of my gross hands. We're doing demo this week. This is something that under a microscope can be further verified. This is without a question of a doubt. You can find out that this is an authentic coin. So because of that, it's a really easy coin to store, to sell. You're not going to have to worry about moving that. In the case of the eagle, it's even a step beyond that. This coin, you can potentially sell without going to a local coin shop. Now, I don't know that I recommend that, but just saying that as far as popularity goes, so many people know this coin, so many people want this coin. You could sell this in a private sale, and you wouldn't have any real trouble beyond the obvious safety concern. You got to remember, stranger danger is real, stay safe. But these coins and a handful of others are fantastic investments in my mind. Now, you've got questions, I've got opinions. It's kind of the setup here. So, as always, I would recommend looking at the comments of my videos. There are going to be a lot of people in the community willing to add their own experience, their own knowledge. You'll find that in the comments. You're going to find some dumb stuff down there too, I'm sure. But I think it's very important that nobody makes a split decision to buy a bunch of gold without doing a fair amount of research. So check your sources, look into as many places as you can. But to answer the opening question, I think that gold is a great investment, particularly if you care more about the simple spot price of the metal. If you want to know more about which coins I think you should buy, check out a few of my other videos. I'll post a few here, and feel free to like and subscribe. So any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Again, I appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching.